Hundreds of thousands of Android users infected by banking malware hosted on Play Store. This is Google Play Store, Android phones, and possibly Chromebooks as well. Researchers say the Trojans have caused significant losses at the targeted banks. This is from Tech Radar. In another instance of threat actors sneaking malware-ridden apps past Google's threat detection filters, cybersecurity researchers have revealed that over 300,000 users have downloaded malicious Android apps containing banking Trojans. This is not good. The researchers at Threat Fabric have identified 4 families of banking Trojans that have recently been distributed via Google Play. In a breakdown of the modus operandi, they note that these strains have collectively led to, quote, significant financial losses for the targeted banks. The 4 Trojans hid inside all kinds of apps, with the most prominent one named Anasta, which alone counted for over 200,000 downloads. The researchers found Anasta inside apps that posed as QR code scanners, document scanners, and cryptocurrency apps. These are probably apps that are not too difficult to make a kind of a shell version that works just fine. Like maybe a calculator or something would be a good example. Something that works, but that they could sneak this Trojan into to infect your phone. The major takeaway from the analysis is the extent to which the apps went to avoid being flagged. This is a little worrisome here. A noticeable trend in the new dropper campaigns is that actors are focusing on loaders with a reduced malicious footprint in Google Play, considerably increasing the difficulties of detecting them with the automation and machine learning techniques, note the researchers. So what I believe this is referring to is, the app will appear to be legitimate, a app tracking crypto markets, or what were these other examples up here? QR code scanners. The app will look and work just like that, but it'll have some nefarious code. It'll have something in there that will, once you run the app, it may download this Trojan. So it's not a Trojan itself. It doesn't have one embedded in it, but it will download one to your phone once you run it. That's why this is getting harder to. This method is harder to flag by Google's automated system. Furthermore, according to the analysis, the threat actors only manually activate the installation of the banking Trojan on an infected device in case they need to lure more victims in a specific region of the world. Yikes. This behavior further complicates the discovery of the Trojans using automated detection mechanisms, as we just discussed. So it's actually a little worse than I said. It's not that the Trojan gets downloaded and installed as soon as you run the app. It's whoever designed this thing, these apps, they can do it manually. So you can run the app, use your QR code scanner for who knows how long, until they say, we need more attacks in this region of the world, and then they activate it from who knows what corner of the galaxy. Hey, it doesn't say anywhere that these people are absolutely in the on the earth, so you never know. It's no surprise then that the researchers say that almost all of the Trojans had very low score on VirusTotal at some point in time. A good rule of thumb is always check updates and always be very careful before granting accessibility services privileges, which will be requested by malicious payload after the update installation. And be wary of applications that ask to install additional software. So, said Dario Durando, mobile malware specialist at Threat Fabric, sharing a strategy with ZDNet to help users detect Trojan apps. Yeah, scan your devices with these best Android antivirus. I've never been a fan of antivirus apps on Android. just of being cautious. So yeah, if you download an app and you've been using it for a certain amount of time, it works fine, and then all of a sudden it's asking you for new permissions, that's a sign right there. Another thing that I would suggest is something I mentioned in a previous video, is before you download an app, you check the app on this website here, and you can read it up here. reports.exodus-privacy.eu.org. You can search for an app, and I've shown you this before, but it's worth repeating. You can search for an app, and you can see it brings up results. I know this is the real Twitter here. Let's look at Twitter, and you can see how many trackers are in the app. And this tells you their purpose, analytics, crash reports, and the like. But it'll also tell you the permissions. So when you go to download an app you're interested in, some people think, well, it's kind of a hassle to go do this. You know, it is, but are you worried about the security of your phone or not? So you can look at all of the permissions. This app has 44 permissions. Holy smokes. What in the world is it? Now you can imagine why it would need access to your location. You know, you have to, if you want to tag yourself at a location, I'm at Joe's Grab Shack or whatever. Authenticate accounts, Bluetooth. I'm not sure why Twitter would need Bluetooth. Camera, you can take a picture, post it directly from the app. Foreground service, get accounts, internet, read phone state, record audio. You can imagine why some of these would be on here. Some of these, I can't imagine why they wouldn't be on here, and some of them I don't even know what they are. But you could do your own research if you wanted to, and comb through every app and figure out if it's worth it. So that's just a small thing you can do. It does take time, but if you're very worried about it, that's an easy way to check. So you may want to go through some of your apps right now. I would recommend, if you have any of these particular categories from unknown, if you have an app that's been around for years and years, and has 500 million downloads or something, obviously I think you're going to be all right. But apps without as many downloads, kind of be careful. Just be careful about apps that don't look like they're very old. I would really look at that. So check your phone, go through your apps, uninstall anything you're not using. That's another thing you can do. If you're not using, sometimes we pile up apps, go through, clean it out. Yes, of course, check for updates. Update your phone operating system. If it's asking for you for an update, sometimes it's just for security. So I realize a lot of people get annoyed with it and they put it off. I don't think Google will let you put it off for very long, but just do it. So otherwise, you could be infected. So I don't think this is super common. You have to remember there are, I don't know, 4 billion Android phones being used. That's an exaggeration. There's over 1 billion Android phones being used. So if you get 500,000 of them infected with something, it's not super common. But by the numbers, it's a lot of people. So just something to be aware of. All right. Thank you guys for watching.